10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Manchester
1,
United have
0.
reached the promised land.
Good morning, everybody. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're watching from. How you doing? Sam here, United People's TV. It's Friday. Come on, people. Get a smile on your face. Try not to think about transfers. Try not to think about Manchester United in the transfer window. Well, which might be a little bit difficult, considering I'm about to talk about Manchester United in the transfer window for the next 45 minutes. But how are you all doing? Got that Friday feeling? I'm sure some of you do. Some of you don't. But I'm sure all of you will have it by the end of the stream. I'm going to talk through everything that happened yesterday. I've told you that the 16th of June was an important day for Barcelona, for Frenkie de Jong, for everything that's going on, right? So I'm going to bring you all the updates that happened at that board meeting yesterday, the agreements that Barcelona's board members agreed to. I don't know, it was board members. It's just like this delegation that they have. Anyway, everything they agreed to with their licensing and merchandising, with the TV rights, with selling off assets of the club to raise funds. What does that mean for Frenkie de Jong? I'll bring you the updates from Samuel Marsden from ESPN and Dermot Corrigan from The Athletic. Run through both of those. We're going to be speaking about De Jong in a bit of detail this morning. I said to you earlier this week, I said, look, I'm not going to run with a headline about De Jong until there's some updates, like genuine updates. And this is quite a significant day, and it's quite a significant point. But it's still a point where I think we can say with real confidence, I know we can say with real confidence that Frenkie de Jong still remains Manchester United's #1 target. The club isn't getting disheartened by anything that's going on, which might confuse a few of you, might concern a few of you, and I'll run through all of it this morning. But who's down here? T, I can see you down there this morning, all the way from Moz. How you doing, buddy? Calvin, nice to see you there too. What members we got down here? We've got Shushanth. Good morning to you. Fred Cranham, as always. How you doing, Fred? Who else is down here? Viking Football Show, enjoying your free gifted sub. Damn it, I should try and do that. Let's see if I can do that this morning. Let me try and do that quickly now before we begin. See if I can, whilst I'm live on stream, don't tell me I can't multitask, people. Let me go here and see if I can gift some memberships. Go down there. Let's gift 10. Why not? Let's give 10. Let's see if I can do this live and direct. Yep. Let me do that. Let me see what happens. I think if I do this, let me see. 10 of you might be able to get, boom. There we go. I think, there you go. I've just gifted 10. Come on, people. It's Friday. There you go. 10 of you just joined the members gang. Maybe more of you will join as well. And I'll tell you what, separate to that, I'm going to be giving plenty of these away, by the way. I'm going to give away one of these to a member on Telegram this week. So if you want to join, make sure all the people I just gifted a membership to, you can now enter. Isn't that lucky? Just join the Telegram group. The link is in the description and it's all down there. But look, let's talk about Frenkie de Jong. Lots and lots of you tuning in here. I know we're all frustrated, man. We're all frustrated as shit, right? Come on. We're all in the same gang there. I still absolutely maintain that I will be happy with Manchester United's activity at the end of the transfer window. I think we'll get it done. But it's all a bit frustrating at the moment. I did my video yesterday on Gary Neville's comments. He went public. He said, look, I think it's a bit worrying. Let me pull this up on screen. I was going to save this for later in the stream, but I'll pull it up on screen now and we can discuss it a little bit later. Gary Neville said this, I know it's early in the window, but it's a little bit worrying that Manchester United are struggling to get business done. The other scene's set and ready, yet United can't get moving. And yeah, they can't get moving. Look at that. Dan Lamy, you joining? I think you might have got one of the memberships. Richard, you're saying it's my birthday. Can you send me one? It's everyone's birthday when there's free shirts around. That's what I'm saying. Jack, how you doing, man? How am I feeling about it? I feel exactly like Gary Neville does. I'm worried. Yeah, I'm worried. I'm not going to go overboard and say that it's Armageddon, like all hell is breaking loose, but it's worrying. I didn't want this. I didn't want any of these conversations this summer. I've had this conversation so many times over so many windows that I just wanted this one to be smooth sailing. Deals done, fees agreed, players holding up shirts. Nice. A new look United. So no matter what happens this summer, there will always be this De Jong situation to discuss. Now, let me run through all the updates that happened from that board meeting yesterday. Keith, look at that. Looks like you got gifted a sub as well. There you go, man. Yeah, so by the way, what you do is I just gifted 10 subs. I can't actually choose who the 10 go to. YouTube just goes, go on in. You 10 get it. But you've got one. I think that's 20 subs I've gifted. Jeez. drop a like on the video for that. That's worth it, right? But look, let me run through the updates for you. I'm waffling now. But as I said, this De Jong situation, no matter what way you look at it, United are still prioritizing De Jong. Now, I'll tell you what I think is the cause of that before we run into this and we go through this updates, and I will run through it all. Ten Hag must be absolutely convinced that this is going to happen, that this can happen, because he's spoken directly to Frenkie de Jong. We won't ever find out what those conversations were, but the way Manchester United are acting, it seems like Ten Hag has been not given assurances, not given assurances by Manchester United. Sorry, not by Barcelona or Frenkie de Jong, but it's obvious that the noises that Ten Hag is hearing is that United should keep going, because at this point, we could very much walk away. We could walk away, we could look elsewhere, and we could change our priorities. But I don't know, Ten Hag must be convinced that it's going to happen. V33, you're joining us a member. Nice to see you there, buddy. Yeah, Viking and Steve, I think both of you got a gifted membership in the last round. Dan Kaiser, look at that. I think you got one this time. How you doing there, buddy? Scott, this concerns me equally as much. Spoken about that as well. Dean Henderson's the only real one that we can talk about, and I will get an update on him today. Looks like he's going to be joining Nottingham Forest. Good, but it's only going to be on a loan spell with no obligation to buy or option to buy. Weird. Probably another consequence of giving an overinflated contract to a fringe player. But look, let's run through the updates from yesterday. I'll head down to the comments in a few minutes. Just let me run through all of this before I do. Now, Samuel Marsden, he is ESPN's not a Spanish reporter, but he reports for ESPN on this situation. This is what he said. He said, Barca members eligible to vote have authorized a 49.9%, so that's a minority stake, in Barca's licensing and merchandising. The club claim that could bring in 200 to 300 million euros. Now, the reason I've actually slid into Sam's DMs, I'm going to try and get him on for an interview later on today, because I want to find out exactly from the horse's mouth what these numbers mean. Because you look at that and you go, oh, 200, 300 million. Cool. All right. Well, they don't need to sell anybody. But it's not as simple as that. The money that they've got here won't really be going towards their transfer budget. And I will explain that as we go on. And it's quite hard to get your head around all these numbers, but I'll try and do my best this morning. And then, so that as well as their licensing and merchandising, they also authorized the sale of a stake of up to 25% of the club's TV rights, which could bring up to 500 million in total. So when combined there, you're looking at 700 to 800 million euros that Barcelona could be bringing in over the next few weeks. And the next few weeks is crucial to say that, because these deals have to be done, I believe, by June the 30th to be added into to be added into the profit and loss accounts. They must do their profit and loss accounts from June to June. And by doing that, it will then affect their transfer budget coming up. And that's the big thing, right? So it's not as if all this 800 million is just going to be pumped straight into Barcelona and they can sign the world. They've got a ridiculous amount of debt. Okay. But what these deals would mean, getting a deal that will worth 200 to 500 million for the TV rights and a deal worth 200 to 300 million for the licensing and merchandising, it will go against, and it will mean they actually go into profit in the most recent profit and loss accounts, which means that their wage cap and their transfer budget, you know, they've got a minus 144 million euro budget set on them by La Liga because of their profit and loss. This changes all of that. So it means that their budget will go back up. It's not necessarily that this money will go directly into those transfers. And that's what I mean. Like, I need to speak to Samuel Marsden directly to find out a bit more information on this, because it is quite confusing. But it certainly has a big impact on the future of Frenkie de Jong. And I'll be running into that very, very soon. Very nice to see you there this morning, buddy. Morning, Sam. I believe if Ten Hag believes United can sign de Jong, we must deliver it to him. I don't want another manager failing because of the board. No, you're not the only one there, Ray. And you are spot on. He needs to be given the signings that he needs. Now, I think that might make me sound a little bit like a hypocrite, because I've said, United need to make sure that we've got some continuity. I remember what I said previously. We need some continuity going forward between managers. Can't just like Matic. Geez, Mourinho signed Matic for 3 different clubs now. He just signs Matic wherever he is. It's not necessarily a club signing. It's a pure manager signing. Now, we've got to allow Ten Hag to make those manager-type signings, but then make sure that whoever follows Ten Hag, that those signings all apply. And that's continuity. And building a team in a certain identity is that as well. Mo, I see there joining as a member. Mo Munir. Munir, isn't that the name of one of the players from Athletic Bilbao? Remember when they pumped us when Herrera played for them? I think it was good. But let me know where you're watching from, buddy. I'll try and give you a shout out. And let me go up here and V33. There you go. Send a super chat. Had sign up. You seem to be the only YouTuber that gives me news and analysis with non-biased, concrete, viable stuff. Thank you very much, buddy. That's what I try and do. I know there's a lot of noise, constant daily noise among United. It's not supporters, but covering United can be quite tough to get your head around. All right, it can be very hard to truly understand what is going on. Steve, man, thank you very much for gifting 5 memberships to people in the comments. I appreciate that. I can't see that in how I look at, so I had to go back on the video. But Steve, big up to you, my friend. That's really nice of you. Look, 15 memberships getting given away. I'm doing more of these giveaways. It's absolutely Christmas in here. Hot Christmas, though. If you're in the UK, by the way, get that suntan cream on. 33 degrees today. Jeez. But with De Jong, right, as I said, they're looking to raise in the region of 700 million euros. And then you get reports coming out of Spain following that Frenkie de Jong's departure is no longer necessary for Barcelona. However, and there's always a caveat, isn't there? Xavi likes Bernardo Silva more and would prefer his arrival. And then we get into the separate conversation. And that's this conversation. Because we keep talking about Barcelona's debt, what they can't do, what they can do. Look at the players they've got on that list. Lewandowski, Koundé, Azpilicueta. Is that a free transfer? Free or cheap? Same with Marcus Alonso. But Bernardo Silva and Rafinha. Rafinha's like 50 million. Lewandowski's like 40 to 50 million. Koundé is like 50 to 60 million. And then Bernardo Silva is like 80 million. And that's where this situation becomes ever so slightly more complicated. Again, it's fucking... I will say this quickly. I'm not saying this just to keep you excited and to keep you engaged. It's genuinely such... It's just United decide to get involved in complicated transfers. The Haaland transfer was not difficult. It was expensive as hell. Did you see the agent fees that were involved? 54 million for his release clause, something like that, pounds, but 46 million in agent fees. So it's a 100 million deal. It's expensive, but it was very straightforward. Release clause, he wanted to go City, boom, 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 done. Nunez and Liverpool and Benfica. It was expensive, but it was pretty damn straightforward. Benfica were always selling. They wanted a price. Liverpool paid it. Boom. Very simple. Frenkie de Jong, so many goddamn moving parts. De Jong didn't actually want to leave Barcelona in the first place. That's a complicated start. Barcelona didn't want to sell him. Even more complicated. Barcelona are stuck in debt and they're trying to raise finances. Complicated. It's just, we seem to get involved in these difficult situations, these difficult deals, which force us into these delays. And it becomes more and more frustrating. But heading over to what Dermot Corrigan has said on the De Jong situation. Why do people always message me? There we go. I need to turn my phone over. There you go. Phone's upside down now. I can't get distracted. But this is what Dermot Corrigan said on The Athletic about De Jong and what this 700 million from Barcelona means. Let's read through this together. He said, this brings us to De Jong, who is next on the scale behind the captains. When you're talking about captains, we're talking about Gavi and Pedri and the players that, simply put, I don't think can be sold by Barcelona. And a player who the board believe could raise enough money to make significant additions to the squad. Now, this is the key thing to understand about what these deals do and what these deals change. So in total, that's 700 million. Great. It changes Barcelona from a loss into a profit. Brilliant. What that then means is this. As it currently stands with Barcelona's finances, there's a 1/3 rule, which means that if they were to sell a player for 100 million, say they sold Frenkie de Jong for 100 million, they would only be allowed to invest 33 million of that into new signings because they're in a loss because their balance sheet is so off and they got so much debt. By rules of, I think, La Liga and Spanish law, probably not Spanish law, but just La Liga, they can only spend 1/3 of that money they raise on new signings. 2/3 of it have to go towards sustainability and reducing the debt of the club. However, if they get this money in, and it looks like they're going to, when it comes to the TV deals, when it comes to their licensing and merchandising, that switches it to a profit, which means if they sell Frenkie de Jong for 100 million euros, they can invest 100 million euros. So all of a sudden, that Frenkie de Jong deal is worth triple to them in terms of their short-term transfer budget. And that's what I mean. It's a seriously complicated situation. And that's why there are delays. That's why Man United are stuck in this situation where we just can't sit because we won't pay what Barcelona want. Ultimately, that's a big thing about all of this. You can talk about all the complications all you want, but ultimately, if United just paid up what Barcelona wanted, then we'd sign him. And I don't think it would be too complicated at that point. So yeah, it's I suppose that's a little bit of a oxymoron, really. But we go back here and we read through the full thing of what Dermot Corrigan said. It said some of those close to the members of the first team believe that the directors of Barcelona are attempting to create an environment in which the Dutchman would accept an exit through a drip stories in the local media. However, another source close who knows the Dutchman well says he thinks the pressure will not work. We're just involved in some political, weird, odd situation with Barcelona, with their board of directors, with the players they've got, with the players they want to sign. It's not underhand, but it's semi-sneaky. And it's the complications of this whole, of Barcelona as a whole football club we've been dragged into. Technically, we didn't get dragged into it. We went after Frenkie de Jong, but we've got ourselves involved in. And that is why it is dragging out, but also why, at the same time, we're still going after Frenkie de Jong. I know you might not like it, people, but I am reporting the news as accurately as I think I possibly can. He is still our priority. But this isn't going to go away, I don't think, anytime soon. You go down there, look, you can see the two deadlines that are down here. June the 30th and July the 31st, because they need to raise that money. Look, there you go. The vote passing may ease that pressure in the medium term, but the June 30th and July 31st deadlines are still relevant. If no money is raised from selling off the licensing, selling off the minority stake in their in-house studio productions, Barca Studios, all their TV rights over the next fortnight, the only way to avoid big losses in the 2021-2022 accounts is by making money in the transfer market. And without making money in that 2021-22 accounts, they can't invest the big money that they want to do to sign these players. All right? So I hope I've sort of summed it all up for you there, but I said the 16th of June was a big date, and it was a big date. It is a big date. But that now is superseded by June the 30th. Barcelona have got 13 days to balance their books. 13 days to find some... I mean, no doubt they're already probably way down the line in having these sorts of conversations and interested parties. I think they got 10 interested parties for all of this stuff. But if they don't do that in 13 days, they won't have the budget they need to sign the players they want, the likes of Lewandowski, Koundé, and to have an actual rebuild for Xavi. And therefore, in the next 13 days, we'll know, I think, properly, truly about Frenkie de Jong. So it might... I personally think it's going to drag on a little bit more, all right? I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I want to be here saying we've got Frenkie de Jong. But I don't think United are going away. I think United feel that we will get de Jong. And I think United are just kind of ignoring the noise and just kind of ploughing on. Now, that could backfire. That really could backfire miserably. And in previous windows, it has backfired. Because we've done that and then chased and chased and chased, whether it's Fabregas, Bale, Sancho was another one. We've chased and chased and chased and found ourselves empty-handed. Let's hope that changes this summer. But we are still massively chasing. There's a couple of super chats here. Let me read these out before I quickly do move on and I'll answer some of your questions. Warren, I see you there, buddy. Legend has it that United's counter offer is still being faxed. That fax machine. Do you remember that? The fax machine, Real Madrid, David De Gea. Geez, that was like, it was like the end of Waterboy. You know, when he throws the ball and you're thinking, it's that slow-mo. Would he catch it? Of course he catches it because it's the Waterboy. That's what it felt like with the fax machine. But it didn't go through. That was hilarious. Actually, you're saying Frenkie de Jong, one centre-back, and Anthony or a striker, maybe Eriksen. What happens to the same old problem with CDM? Look, dude, if there's one thing I'm really genuinely worried about this summer, it's central defensive midfield. I think there's a real possibility that we don't make that signing, which kind of blows my mind. Really, really blows my mind. I've done a video on it. I think I've done 2 videos on it now. I'm saying, look, don't ignore the elephant in the room anymore, please. But it's obvious that Erik ten Hag isn't coming in and saying, look, that's the position I need first. He is looking, I'm telling you, it's because it's a system signing. That's why Frenkie de Jong is so important to him. I think I've said this before as well, but I'll say it one more time. Without Frenkie de Jong, it's going to take a long, long time. I mean, it probably will still take a long time. Without Frenkie de Jong, it will take a lot longer for Erik ten Hag's system to be embedded at Manchester United. With Frenkie de Jong, that accelerates massively. With de Jong in the team, this United team will be playing Ten Hag football far quicker than without him. And that's why Ten Hag wants him. That's why he wants to build it around him. He wants to replicate what he had at Ajax at Manchester United. And that's a very difficult thing to do. That's why he needs someone like him. And that's why, really, I'm probably going to do a video tomorrow looking at 5 de Jong alternatives, because I don't think we can. I don't want United to be sitting there all our eggs in one basket. I think that's a foolish and stupid thing to do. So we'll take a look at 5 alternatives. I'll try and get that done for tomorrow. But that's why de Jong, really, as far as Ten Hag is concerned, there are no alternatives. Because of him being schooled at Ajax, because of him coming up in that Ajax team that was so good under Ten Hag, there really is nobody else that has that same set of characteristics that de Jong does. And that's why he's keeping him as his #1 target. Tom, still can't understand why we didn't get Mitchell and keep Rangnick, at least until some positivity came back to the club. Rangnick, I mean, I've spoken about Ralph quite a lot now. I really have. I'm frustrated it turned out the way it has. From what looked like excellent long-term planning from Manchester United, blew up in their faces another spectacular short-term misgiving, which really fucked me off, I'll be honest. Mitchell, I don't think was ever going to come in and work underneath John Murtough in that power hierarchy and structure, given that he's an actual sporting director at Monaco and reports to the president. What's he going to then demote himself to report to John Murtough? And that's not what he did. Although we do need someone like that. We know that. Jaden, you're saying, look, I think we're not looking for a CDM. We're looking at 2 central midfielders. Yes, my wording might be wrong when I'm saying CDM, but it's 2 central midfielders. It's a central midfielder who looks forward, and it's a central midfielder who looks backwards. It's a central midfielder who helps United in possession. That's de Jong. And it's a central midfielder who helps United out of possession. That's your defensive midfielder. So I'm not on paper going for an Ndidi type signing, but it is somebody who, as I say, focuses on helping United be stronger without the ball. That's not something Frenkie de Jong adds to. V33, how is it they're so blind to not see what we are seeing as a listed entity? Why can't a fan-run hostile takeover be done? Good luck with that, man. That's never, ever going to happen. Calvin saying, look, I'm tired of the Jong thing. We are literally stuck. Yeah, we are stuck. And that's the thing I want to, that's personally the thing I want to do. I want to see United doing, sorry. We can't just be focusing here on the Frenkie de Jong situation. If we're going to have to wait 13 days, then pull out a little bit, right? There's some updates coming here from Rob Dawson. Let me try and pull these up on screen for you. Everybody keep getting your comments in. There we go. Right. This is what he's saying. What's he saying there? Right. Let me pull this up on screen. Thank you for letting me know about this in the comments, people. Rob Dawson here saying that sources said that Barcelona and Manchester United are in dispute over a fee for de Jong. We knew that. There are concerns from outside the club that the Netherlands international doesn't seem overly thrilled about the prospect. I mean, that's not fucking new. Come on. Rob, you're better than that. That's not new at all. That's exactly the situation. And I've told you, just because he's happy at Barcelona does not mean he wouldn't be happy at Manchester United. What's Frenkie going to do? Sit there, go into his room, get into his bed covers, play Barca's anthem, and just start watching highlights of him at Barcelona and cry and not have a career. It's football, man. Players are employees of their clubs. Even if it's their dream club and the club doesn't want them anymore, they have to move on. It is what it is. Frenkie de Jong won't sulk at all. I refuse to think that Frenkie de Jong wouldn't be happy at Manchester United. That's my own personal opinion. But I think he'd very much quickly move on from there once he really is the centerpiece of Erik ten Hag's Manchester United if the goddamn transfer happens. We've been looking at changes at United and thinking these are for the better because the bar is frigging low. In reality, it's old wine in new bottles. But no, old wine can be nice. Let's not take away the goodness of old wine here. Yeah, we really wanted this summer to be different. We all felt this summer could be different because of the changes that happened behind the scenes. And yet, on the 17th of June, we're seeing old habits rear their ugly head, which is not what we wanted. And as I said, I still think that I still feel confident. I don't know why I'm confident. I can't vocalize it in words, but looking at everything that's happened behind the scenes at United, I think I wouldn't be done with United, but if we really just repeat these same mistakes this summer, having made all those positive changes behind the scenes, it would really confuse me. Mark Harris with a semi-aggressive comment here. Move on from De Jong. Also read cheap super chats. There you go. I read that one, my friend. Seeing as you added so much to the conversation there, Mark. Thank you very much for that. Yeah. So I personally, I'm in this position where Gary Neville is. I think he's spot on there to be worried about what's going on. De Jong, you might not like it, but that's going to be an ongoing situation. 13 days until they have to make money to balance their books in order for their transfer budget to be correct this summer. That either comes through agreeing the deals and the money coming in early for the licensing and merchandising or the TV rights, which they've agreed to sell, or through selling a player, right? 40 saying, making that video on De Jong alternative would be great because I'm sure Ten Hag did not just propose De Jong. He didn't. He absolutely did not propose one player for that role. So there will be an alternative there. So we're going to have a discussion about it, hopefully in that video. 2 number 6s. So it would be De Jong and Fred. Nah, not Fred, man. Not Fred. I don't think so. Fred's better going forward. We know that. Fred's better as a number 8 than he is a number 6. Thank you. And De Jong is no George Best. That's true. I've got George Best over there, actually. I need to get George Best on the wall at some point. Where can we get that shirt behind you? My firstborn was work a couple of weeks ago. I was born in 87, the year of the shirt. What with that one up there? Which one you took? Oh, that bad boy. This bad boy. Well, I'm going to be giving, as I said, I'm going to be giving plenty of these away. I've got 10 sitting under my desk because I got a bit generous. Santa Claus. I saw T. That was a nice one in the comments. I'm going to start giving them away. I'm going to give one away this week to a member, random member who's in the members Telegram chat group. So if you want to become a member either on Facebook or on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, let me leave the link in the description for you here because I forgot to leave it in the description of this video. Whoops. And if you're watching on YouTube, then the link's in the description. Just go down there. I'm going to give one away this week. Wesley Fofana. Is that the Leicester centre-back, I think? Bit random. I don't believe we're particularly looking into that. David is saying, look, good morning, Sam. Joining as a new member. Nice to see you there, buddy. United should leave De Jong saga and force more on other targets. Getting through like the Porto midfielder. Now, is it Vitinha? I think it's Vitinha. Let me see if I'm pronouncing his name right. Yeah, it's Vitinha. I might do a video on him later today, depending on whether or not I can speak to Samuel Marsden. But there's no way that De Jong is the only name on that list. But who else could be on that list? That's what I'm going to try and do by looking at alternatives. Reports this morning suggest we might be in for Ward-Prowse. Ward-Prowse, that's a bit... Where's that come from? That's a bit of a curveball. That is a bit of a curveball. Now, look, when it comes to this summer, And our targets. So obviously Frenkie de Jong's number one. I think Yuri Timber's right up there as the priorities. But Darwin Nunez and the whole situation, I want to show you a little clip from the latest BetVictor episode. Big up to BetVictor for continuing to support United People's TV. It makes such a big difference. Thank you to them. And Adam McCullough said a few words on Darwin Nunez, which I'm not particularly sure I completely agree with.
Right, I'm the last fan standing, and I'm going to tell you why I'm not that bothered about Darwin Nunez, and it's not sour grapes, I promise. Check this out, yeah. £85 million. Manchester United spent £85 million. We've hardly got any money left to sort out our midfield, and I can't go another season seeing McTominay and Fred stinking out Manchester United's midfield, can't cross their legs, can't pass win. I cannot deal with that. So I'm glad Manchester United didn't spend most of our budget on Darwin Nunez, but also he's had one good season in Portugal. One good season. 2 major knee surgeries. At how old is he?
Look, Darwin Nunez, I would love him to be a flop at Liverpool. He won't be a flop. I do agree in the fact that I'm happy. That's why I didn't go in too hard on Man United not signing him. We couldn't spend that much money on Darwin Nunez. Liverpool, they've pretty much got their summer window wrapped up already. They're going to be signing a youngster from Aberdeen. They've obviously got Fabio Carvalho from Fulham, I think, as well. And they spent big on a striker. That's what they needed. City, they're looking at Marco Cucurella now after signing Haaland. I don't know who else they're going to goddamn sign because they're just City a different level. But I do agree that I'm not happy with... I've got my words mixed up there. I do agree that not spending 85 million on Darwin is the right thing to do. But with everything, with all the silence that's going on, it just builds this frustration, man. It just builds this frustration. Have red shirts that are going to give away and blue like that. This is my one. My nice old school ones. Dragon, you say, look, it's not like the Sancho deal. The Sancho deal was, I hate to say it, the Sancho deal was simpler than this De Jong deal. And the Sancho deal we still managed to fuck up. It's because we went after Sancho in a summer where Dortmund weren't willing to sell. It wasn't in their business plan. And the only thing that would change that was an outrageous amount of money, which we weren't willing to pay. So we shot ourselves in the foot by going after a player that simply wasn't moving for the price we wanted to pay. De Jong, he is moving. It might not be the price we want to pay, but it's the price you will pay for going after a player who's happy at a club when a club doesn't want to sell him if he is your manager's number one target. You have to pay a little premium for that. And United, that's the situation we're in. Let's move on from talking about De Jong. And the first thing I want to speak about here is it's not an important exit, but it's one of the exits that has to happen. It's from John Percy from The Telegraph talking about Dean Henderson. He said, Forest are closing in on the capture of Dean Henderson with a deal understood to be a straight loan for the season. Henderson has been given the green light to leave Old Trafford, and his rival is obviously Bryce Sandberg's going to be leaving. I think it's going to yeah, he's leaving the club. I don't really know why. I think they've just managed to mess up that situation because he was very happy there. But Dean Henderson going there on a season-long loan. The only reason that we're not able to sell Dean Henderson is probably because of his wages. It's probably another situation where Manchester United have shot themselves in their foot by giving a player an inflated contract when they are not top tier at the club. Pereira had one. Rojo had one. Dean Henderson has one. Phil Jones has had one for bloody years. Eric Bailly's got one. There's so many players at our club that are on ridiculous wages. Dean Henderson is one. He's on I think 100 grand a week. 100 grand a week. And he's not ever been anything more than our number two. It's outrageous. But that's what United have done. That's why United have managed to keep so many, I suppose, big name players over the years, because we just paid them too much. We've overinflated. As Johnster says right down here, yeah, this was the culture that Woodward brought in. And I'll tell you what, Woodward would have taken us down the same path that Bartomeu took Barcelona down. And why they're in a situation now where their club, that Barcelona situation is absolutely staggering. They're literally selling off 25% of their future TV rights. They're selling off a ton of future revenue to get a huge influx now because they're so screwed. I'll tell you what, United would have been going closer towards there if Ed Woodward hadn't been booting out of the club. I'll tell you that. Lots of you in the comments are mentioning this. And I'll tell you what, I hope this is the last time I have to mention this name on this show anywhere. And I mean that. Let's find out. Paul Pogba and that documentary that came out. My bad. The Pogmentary. Let me get that right. Jesus Christ. Pogba hits out at Manchester United's 300 grand a week. Nothing offer. Quote there, nothing offer. And this is what he said. He asked in the documentary. He asked Raiola if United had given him second deal. He goes, yes, they absolutely want you to stay. For me, the offer doesn't reflect that. I told them if you want him to stay, don't make that offer. I will make them understand if they really want you to stay and they want to build a project around you, this time they have to act differently and put the money on the table. Pogba says they're bluffing. How can you tell a player you absolutely want him and offer him nothing? I've never seen that. So according to Paul Pogba, 300 fucking grand a week is nothing. I told you, I checked out on Paul Pogba a good long time ago, right? A good long time ago. But Pogba is forcing himself closer towards this Di Maria category of players than he is anything else with all the shit that he's coming out with. And how about this for a line inside that in Pogmentary as well? There is a disconcerting line from Rafaela Pimenta, the lawyer Raiola entrusted with so much of his business. And she said this, Pogba is something we built. It's a brand. It has emojis. It has Pogmojis. It has cups. He has shows. He has haircuts. And we hope to entertain people with that. Pogba is something we built. Well, it's something you destroyed as well then. I'm so happy that Paul Pogba has left Manchester United. And as I said, I hope this is the last time that we have a conversation about him on this show. I don't want to waste any more oxygen on him. He's going to show that Manchester United made a mistake. Yeah, we fucking know we made a mistake, mate. We just lost you again for a free transfer for the second time after wasting a ton of money on you. I think we know we made a mistake. No matter what you do at Juventus, we already know that. But wow, what a self-indulgent individual, man. I know Man United made mistakes with Paul Pogba. I know we didn't particularly match the ambition by correctly signing around him. But Jesus, I'm so glad we're done with that circus. So glad. Estevo signed Sangare and De Jong for 110 combined, and our midfield is sorted, but leaves us with little to no budget to strengthen the defense. This summer is definitely, Estevo, going to be about blending the sales with the signings. We won't have the money this summer to make all the signings we need without making the correct sales. Look at City. They're selling Jesus for 50 million, roughly. Maybe Sterling, 50 million. They've sold a random goalkeeper, Gavin Buzunu, to Southampton, 15 million. They're going to make like between 1 and 200 million from player sales because they have the ability to recycle players and sell them on when they still have a resale value. Instead, we've kept Phil Jones for 943 years. And we're going to get like 6 million for him at the end of it. Tom, if you owned one of the biggest clubs in the world, would you not want the best people running it from top to bottom? This club blows my mind. Ultimately, the people at the top of the club are happy just to be taking their money every single year. A slow outlay of cash. It's like an interest. It's like they've got a bank account and they're just getting an interest payment every year. They don't have to worry about it. They didn't front any money into it. Any money they did put into it, they're going to get a bumper payout when they do eventually sell the club. So the bottom line still suits them. Asan, look, yeah, there's no news on sales yet other than that Dean Henderson one, which I think is probably equally as disconcerting, if not more so, than this whole Frenkie de Jong situation. Because there's so much that's got to be done. That's what I'm saying. We're just sitting here, just looking at de Jong, just waiting for the emails to refresh for another Frenkie de Jong update comes through. Fuck that. Sort buyout. Martial, Pereira, Jones, central defensive midfielder, centre-back, striker. There's so many different things we could be doing. And what I hope, so many things that we are doing, and I keep maintaining that. I hope that United are doing stuff behind the scenes and we're all just spewing hot air for no reason at all because the club's going to really surprise us. And what you're saying, I'm sure it's going to be a lovely positive comment. Pogba's not shit. Anybody you see who says he is a moron, it never worked with him. For us, as simple as that. Wish him luck and move on. I'm so glad that we don't have to have any conversations about Pogba, man. Really, really am, man. Really, really am. Sam, you're saying, look, like I say before, the whole office is sleeping whilst Ten Hag's away from holiday. Ten Hag's back at the club in 10 days. Imagine if he just comes in Just knocks on John's door. How you doing, John? What's got? Would you mean? But I gave you a list like, I don't know, 12, 14 days. What do you mean? Why is there no? Crack. Slams his head in the table. Smashes a pint glass against John Murtos. I don't think he'll do that. But I've told you, Ten Hag set the tone by arriving at the club early. It's down now to John Murto to get these things done. That's what it is. Look, everybody get involved in the comments. Last 5-10 minutes of the show, I'll try and answer as many of your questions as possible. If there's things I haven't mentioned or spoken about, you let me know in the comments. I'll try and answer them. And make sure you drop a like on the video. It'll take you 2 seconds. I know a lot of people don't necessarily do it, but it does make such a big difference to United People's TV. So if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, please drop a like on the video. And I'll tell you one thing we've got to do before the end of the show as well. It's Friday, so we've got to bring the map up, baby. Boo-doo-boo. So let me know what town and what country. You got to say what town, by the way, not just country, because there's so many countries already on this map. We're on 290 different map points on this map now. Let's have a look at all around the world where we are. Literally everywhere. We still need some more in Canada. We need more in Northern Africa here. Anybody from Algeria, Niger, Libya, Chad, Sudan? A couple in Egypt already. Any in Northern Russia? Pretty much every continent apart from Antarctica. Do you reckon they got Wi-Fi in Antarctica? I imagine they probably do. Prakash, you can come on here. Fukuoka. Was that where the nuclear disaster was? Bond, you can go, sir. Is that Fukuoka? I'm going to absolutely ruin the name. Ruin the pronunciation of that name. There we go, sir. On the map. I know we've got Sashi already watches from Japan, but I don't think it was from there. So you can go on the map, sir. Let me get 2 more of you on here. Let's have a look. We do have Singapore on the map, sir. Oh, look at that. Chris watching from Slemestad in Norway. Hopefully, by the way, I might be coming to Norway for the preseason game in Oslo. I'm trying to sort out some press access. If I can sort that, then I will definitely be going to Oslo. I think that'll be pretty cool. Tanzania is already on the map, sir. Welcome aboard. Let's get one more on here. Yeah, no. Absolutely not. I like that. Bangkok. I'm not sure if Bangkok's actually on here. I've been in Bangkok twice. Bangkok is insane. Bangkok is exactly what you think Bangkok is. It is so loud. It is so busy. But it's pretty cool. If you never got the chance to visit Bangkok or Thailand, I would encourage you to go. It is a beautiful place. And you just live on pad thai. Pad thai is just cheap as anything out there. You do get a little bit bored of it, but it is nice. Let's go up here and read a few more of your comments. There are no comments now. There's just loads of things about where you're all watching from. Let's get Eriksen now and focus on De Jong. The Eriksen situation, as we all know, is a separate conversation to De Jong. They're not linked. They're not linked at all. But let's find out what goes on. Eslo, what you're saying, found out yesterday in your live video, you share a birthday with your fiance. Your fiance's got great choice in birthdays. Maybe not so good choice in men. I'm joking, Estevo. Maybe you might be good. You might be bad. I don't know. Michael, he's saying, look, seeing the likes of Arsenal and Tottenham sign players is enhancing the frustration from fans more than top 2. Spot on comment there, Michael. Arsenal in talks sign Gabriel Jesus. Looks like they're going to be signing a midfielder called Vieira. I think, not that Vieira. And Spurs, of course, got Yves Bissouma, and they've got Perisic on a free already and Fraser Forster. Look at that. Transfer knowledge up there. But yeah, shit. If Arsenal are out there doing signings, then shit the bed. Seriously. Come on. Roxy Dog, either a new member or one of the gifted memberships that's gone out today. 15 gifted memberships here today. That's why you got to join in the Friday streams, people. It's an absolute party in here sometimes. Don't concern yourself about wages and transfer fees. We're United. These are the standard for top-level players in the market, unfortunately, if we want to keep up with teams above us. We keep talking about everything that we want to do, everything that we need to do. City finished 35 points ahead of us, and they've gone and got Haaland and probably going to get Cucurella. Liverpool finished 34 points ahead of us, and they signed Darwin Nunez. If the gaps were big already, the gaps have only got bigger so far in this transfer window. It's crazy. Helgon, I see that. That's why I'm confident in Frenkie de Jong, because Murto has to face the wrath of Ten Hag, if not. And you're watching from Stavanger in Norway. Now, I know that that's already on the map, so I won't add that. Don't worry, Stavanger's already on the map. Peter, you're saying, why are we not in for Richarlison or Jesus for the price? Very good value. I mean, I wouldn't say very good value. Richarlison is not personally somebody I would like to go after. Richarlison is reeks of a nanny. Could be great, but I don't think we need that sort of player at the moment. Jesus, it would be a decent signing. Let's be completely honest. But City won't sell to us. Maybe they would. They probably don't think we're a threat at the moment. That's why they're willing to sell to Arsenal anyway. Go down here. Oh dear, I miss your mate. Sigmund sent out 10 mate. Gifted subs. Absolute paradise down here. I apologize, Sigmund, that I keep missing your gifted subs. Sigmund is absolutely helping the community grow to a wonderful place. Honestly, man, if you haven't already joined, if you're a new member, make sure you go on YouTube, go to the community tab. There's a link to the Telegram community in there, and you join a separate members only group. And inside that group, I'm going to give away one of these, maybe today. I haven't decided yet, but I'm going to give one of these away inside that group as a thank you to all the members who have joined. And if you're on Facebook, go to the private group on Facebook. There's a separate link in there as well to join Telegram and join that community. Man, the community genuinely puts a big smile on my face. It's all the different communities from Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, all coming together and creating a genuinely good place with good United fans, all wanting the same thing with decent conversation. That's what I like to see. Deborah, looks like you've been given one by Sigmund. Sigmund becoming a proper G of the channel. Thank you very much, buddy. Frenkie de Jong is on huge wages, says Jono. I don't know what his wages are. I had to look into that. But Bruno's on 240, 250. So I think that's got to be some sort of parity with that. If Manchester United would sign Frenkie de Jong, but I don't really know that. Troy, you're joining as well. Mate, I tell you what, it's absolutely wicked. Look at this. Man, the community is growing. It's wicked, man. This is cool. Look, I'll wrap this up for today. I'm going to do a video at lunchtime today. Either I might do a full story on Vitinha to United, looking at a potential De Jong alternative. I might do a conversation with Samuel Marsden in a bit more detail about the Frenkie de Jong situation. I haven't quite decided. Tomorrow, I'm going to try and do a video on 5 alternatives to Frenkie de Jong. But look, thank you very much, everybody, for joining in. Wow, what a fantastic show. Thank you very much, Sigmund, and to Steve as well for gifting some subs to some fans. That's brilliant of you. Thank you very much, guys. And yeah, have a cracking weekend. It's 33 degrees today in England. So if you're British, go out there and get sunburnt. Don't get sunburnt. Put sun cream on. But you probably will get sunburnt anyway. Everybody have a cracking weekend. I'll be back here on Monday with a live stream. If anything big breaks over the weekend, I will come here and do an extra live stream. But look, take care of yourself. Enjoy yourself. Have a cracking weekend. And big up the community, man. Big up United People's TV and what you're making it.